Hello everyone. In this video, we shall learn about the properties of the solid state. The first physical state of matter is called solid state. Here, the particles of matter are closely packed, and so the space between the particles is very small. The forces of attraction between the particles is also very high. In fact, it is so high that the particles are placed together in a fixed position and they cannot move or change their position. They can only vibrate about their fixed position. So, the amount of movement of these particles is very small, and thus kinetic energy is very less. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a particle by the virtue of its motion. We call these forces of attraction between the particles as cohesive force. Due to these reasons, certain properties are exhibited by solid state of matter, which are listed as below. Fixed shape. Solid state of matter do not change shape unless an external force, pressure or heat is applied. We also use a term called rigidity to denote this behavior. The second one is fixed volume. As the particles are not allowed to change their position, their volume remains constant. The third one is they cannot be compressed much. As the particles are already packed closely, they are hardly compressible. Number 4 is high density. As the particles are packed closely, their mass per unit volume, that is density, is very high. The last one is no fluidity. As the particles have a fixed position, so they cannot flow like liquid or gas, which we shall learn a little later. Now, let us take up some example which seem a little ambiguous to our definition of solid state, but we need to understand it clearly. If we put salt in a container, it takes the shape of the container. If we put salt in a spoon, it takes the shape of the spoon. So, why do we call salt as a solid if it does not have a fixed shape? Think about it. See, we need to understand here that when we talk of the salt, we mean the crystal particle, one block of salt, and that crystal particle does not change its position even if we change the container or vessel. Interesting, right? What about a rubber band? It too changes its position on stretching and even breaks when the force exceeds a certain limit. Well, it does so because we are applying a force to it and it regains its shape once the force is removed. Any other solid will also change its shape if an external force is applied. I have a home task for you. What about the cotton used in bandages? It is highly compressible and we still call it a solid, isn't it? It is for you to ponder about it and also try to figure out other such ambiguities from our daily life. So that's all from today. See you in the next class.